Good evening. I'm Maddie. Thank you for joining.
And I'm Antoine. Tonight we unpack a major legal issue with national implications. The U.S. Supreme Court has been asked to reinstate a ban on military service members identifying as transgender that was created during the Trump administration.
On April 24, 2025, the Trump administration filed an emergency application with the Supreme Court that would lift a federal injunction that prohibited enforcement of the ban. The federal injunction was issued by Judge Anna C. Reyes in Tacoma, Washington, back in the month of March. The injunction was issued as Judge Reyes found that there was a likelihood that the ban violated the equal protection rights guaranteed in the Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
The framing of this case is larger than a military policy issues. It raises fundamental constitutional questions. Should the court defer to the executive branch regarding military readiness? Should the court enforce the equal rights protection even in the context of national defense?
A little context. In 2021, President Biden overturned the previous administration's policy and allowed transgender Americans to serve openly in the military. However, the previous administration's new argument, which blossomed in 2025, claims that a diagnosis of gender dysphoria counts as a medical disqualification as an analogous condition, as others examined through the lens of the military's ability to function efficiently.
Earlier this month, the Ninth Circuit denied a motion to pause the injunction initially issued by Judge Reyes, and therefore the Trump administration brought their case to their highest court, considering Solicitor General John Sauer's arguments against the injunction that it interrupted military governance, and mentioned that the policy did allow for waivers for certain cases.
The Supreme Court has acted quickly by announcing timelines for briefs in opposition to the brief filed in support of the stay of the district court ruling. We're looking at an opposition brief due by May 1st, which could indicate we've got a decision coming soon. There are thousands of transgender active duty service members, and a central civil rights group are monitoring the situation closely.
If the injunction does indeed get lifted, the immediacy of the consequences could be stark. Some service members could be discharged, and new transgender service members may be prohibited from enlisting altogether.
In the long term, if the Supreme Court reaffirms the ban, it could set a precedent that provides the military with considerable deference, even if it comes at the cost of individual constitutionally protected rights. There are many in the LGBTQ+ advocacy community who fear a ruling in favor of the ban will lead to a further erosion of rights in the future.
Approximately 15,500 transgender people currently serve in the U.S. military, and studies show that the cost of gender-affirming care is insignificant when compared to the military's overall expenditure.
Many groups are reacting quickly. The Justice Department supports the policy, indicating that it is a necessary requirement for operational effectiveness, while advocacy groups like the American Civil Liberties Union and Human Rights Campaign are challenging the legality of the change on the bias that it is discriminatory, and they plan on challenging it.
Senator Tammy Duckworth decided to step in, offering her thoughts on the story. She said it was a step backwards for military readiness and for American values.
We'll continue to watch the response for the Supreme Court. In the meantime, we're going to open up the reading with a few key voices in this debate. Positive.
What do you think the legal risks will be while taking this action? Should the court side with the Trump administration?
I think some of the legal stuff that has to do about it is that they have to think about gender affirming care for anyone who's transgender in the military. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that they're considering. And I don't think I don't think they should, side with Trump. Yes, y'all get what I mean.
So how do you think this decision will affect active duty transgender service members emotionally and operationally?
Well, I think emotionally it's going to have them very distraught, just because they essentially aren't wanted anymore. And the military is supposedly open to all, and operationally they're not going to want to do anything because they're not wanted. Mm-hmm. So frankly, I think it's a little stupid, but that's just me.
Okay.
Is the military really more effective with the policy, or are we simply just going with belief more than human nature?
I do not think this policy is effective, because if people want to be in the military and they're taking their life to serve our country, I think we should just let them do it instead of taking out so many people out of our military. And hashtag ally, bro. Let people do what they want. Yes. Yes. Yep.
Okay. And what does this say to LGBTQ+ youth who may want to serve in the armed forces.
Oh, it's a big middle finger, if I can say that.
It's okay. Just keep going.
But yeah, it's stupid because, again, the military is supposed to be open to all people, shapes, sizes, and different colors. No matter where you come from, you should be welcome inside the United States military. And this showing that they don't want people, and which is kind of stupid, but this is just going to show that. Oh, I blinked.
It's okay. You keep going. We'll cut it.
It just shows that, like, they're not wanted. We don't want you here yet. You emphasize including everyone. It makes no sense.
Thank you very much. We'll be back with more analysis after this break.
Yes.
Ballerina cappuccino. No. I'll just send him a fucking photo of, oh my god, and then just tell him what